All right, good evening, everybody. Good evening. We're here at our favorite spot at the Williams National Museum here, located at 502 Montana on the corner of Hackberry. We are here with our round table, getting things going, and some looked over the questions already, but I don't think Queen looked at them yet, so.
Yes, indeed. I took a look.
Yeah, we may hit her up first.
Okay.
And we have Lakeisha Howard here. Let me switch my cameras around so we can see everybody. It usually works when I do that. So let me do that real quick. There we go, got everybody in there. And yeah, Mr. Howard.
Yes.
All right, got him aboard. He came in to support his wife, and we had somebody that couldn't make it at the last minute. And he graciously enough to sat up in here, and we're going over some questions. He had some good answers. So, hey, want to be part of it? Sure, no problem. Appreciate it. And we got the queen right here, the Lion Queen. So,
Yes.
So.
Good evening.
And then via Zoom, let me let y'all see this young lady right here via Zoom. We have Dr. Crystal Cross. Good evening.
Good evening.
Oh,
Good evening.
I'll make sure that you were working right there. So are you still in the airport?
I am still at the airport.
Oh, are you flying?
I'm about to.
Oh, okay. All right. So we got the round table going today. It's been a little extreme lately. Mm-hmm. We had some things going on, and we're talking about your opinion matters. But before we get started on that, I want to go around the horn and let everybody introduce themselves and let them say what they do and all that good stuff. We're going to start off with Dr. Cross.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Crystal Cross. I am the steward of A Chicago Bite, a restaurant in San Antonio, Texas. And I am also the CEO of the Alamo City Black Chamber of Commerce in San Antonio, Texas.
All right. Miss Queen?
Yes, I am the Lion Queen. I am a poet, an author, and a speaker.
Okay. Mr. Howard?
Yes, my name is Brian Howard. I'm just here.
And Miss Lakeisha?
I'm Lakeisha Howard. He's just here, but he's my man, and he do a lot. I am the owner of We Got You Corporation, where we mean exactly that. We got you in any aspect of life. We got you.
All right.
All right. And of course, I am just here. Like everybody else, I'm just here. I'm Ronald Gordon, owner of WSAN Radio. We started doing the round table again because so many people asked about it, because when the pandemic hit, we pretty well just pumped the brakes. Mm-hmm. And that was before people knew you could use Zoom and everything else. And that was something new to everybody, getting on Zoom. And they looked at the cost, which is not bad. But so we went from Zoom doing things, and as soon as I got a building, now we're starting to have guests live in the studio, and that is a good thing. I love doing that, love talking to people, and I'm gonna love this show today.
Yes.
I think what we're gonna do is, I have a list of questions I did not share with Dr. Cross, but I know that she is real good at things, so I'm not worried about her answering anything at all. So I'm not going to too much go in alphabetical or in order. I'm just going to come up. Now, well, the title of the thing is Your Opinion Matters. Everybody got opinion about everything, whether it's religion, politics, sports, whatever. Everybody got their own opinion about it. Mm-hmm. Now, is your opinion right? Mm-hmm. In your eyes, it's right, because that's how you see things.
Right.
But in other people's eyes, they don't want to hear about your opinion. There are some people that force their opinion down your throat, and they overtalk, and you can't talk to them. You just walk away. I do. I just walk away. I said, nah, you're not even worth my time to sit down there talking to.
Because they want to prove their point.
Precisely.
And their point is that they're overbearing. I'm gonna tell you, they're overbearing, and they want to force their opinion down your throat, whether they're right or wrong. And the funny thing about it, when they're wrong about their opinion, you don't hear nothing from them.
My husband and I have a saying that, your opinion is worth what? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
What is your opinion worth versus the facts? If you can't back your opinion up with facts, then your opinion is not worth anything.
That's true.
Me personally, I never understood the controversy in arguing about opinion, because if it's theirs, why don't you just let them have it? I have mine, you have yours. How come we just can't respect it and let each other have our own opinion? Even if it's different, it's yours. That's who you are.
I agree.
I agree with it. Dr. Cross, you want to chime in on that?
Yeah, because an opinion is, someone's belief or how they view something. It's their own opinion, so it's neither right or wrong, because it's just how it's not a fact, like Lakeisha said. A fact is something that can be proven true. An opinion is how you yourself or the other person feels about something. So,
which leads to this question right here. Here we go. We were talking about this off camera. I said, Lakeisha, hold up. Wait till we get on camera. Would you return a lost wallet if it had a lot of money in it?
So is that to me?
That's to anybody want to jump in first.
I will.
So this actually happened to me.
There we go. Go ahead, sis.
It wasn't a whole lot of money in it to me. Of course, that's my opinion, right? Because $20 for somebody could be a lot of money, and
right.
$20 to someone else could be nothing, or not a lot of money. So the wallet had, I really honestly, I don't even know, because I didn't look in it, I didn't count it or anything like that. What happened was, so I was in the bathroom stall, and I heard some ladies come back in, and they were, looking for a wallet. And I just happened to look to my left, and on top of the toilet paper roll was the black wallet that, she was looking for. And so, I hurried up and finished and came out, and I said, oh, is that the wallet that, you're looking for? Now, I could have been a dishonest person, right? And put it in my pocket or not gave it back or, whatever. But the lady said, oh, it had all my check in there, all my money in there. Oh, and she counted it, and I guess I think it was about 300 or something. I don't really remember. And she said, oh, that's too much money to be losing. And so to her, that was, a lot of money. But so to answer the question, yes, I would.
I would definitely, return it because you don't know. You don't know what somebody's going through. You don't know what that money's for. You don't know, that could be their rent, their utilities. That could be that one payment that's saving their life or that somebody gave them. And then for me to lay my head down at night, I can't do it. I was at Little Caesars the other day, and I went in and I got my food. And then I went out to my car. I said, oh, I didn't pay for this food. Now I could have went home, right? I could have just kept, that was almost $60 that oh, you ain't hear that. That was almost $60 that I spent at Little Caesars. And I had to deal with myself in that moment. And I went back in there and I said, ma'am, I didn't pay for my food. And she said, oh, I'm so sorry. Can I take that payment? Yes, you can take that payment, but it's about integrity. It's about you being able to sleep at night. You're conscious. What is your heart saying to you? At some point you may be just as well in that situation and you lose your wallet.
Yes.
And you want somebody to return it to you.
Yeah, I was in that situation. I lost my wallet one time, and I was walking. This was when I was in high school. And I was walking across the church grounds to high school, and it was a football game that night. I had already bought my ticket. I had my little chump change in there. And when I went to school, I could not find my wallet. I didn't know where it was at. So about 2:15, don't ask me I remember that time, but I remember that time. About 2:15, they came and they called me to the office. I said, oh man, what did I do this time? 'Cause I was always doing something in school. Can you come to the office? And I went to the office. It was the preacher was there. He said, we found your wallet right here. And they gave my wallet. And I told myself, if I ever find my wallet, I'm going to do the same thing. Lord and behold, years later, when I stayed in a town in Lockhart, Texas, it was by the hospital there. I was going home one day. It was this lady wallet that was laying right there in the driveway. I picked the wallet up, drove home, called the lady, and she stayed in Austin. I called the lady and told her, hey, I found your wallet over here by there. I didn't touch it. Everything is in there. So she said, thank you, thank you, thank you. I hear her husband in the background. You know he took something from him. You know he did. You know he took something from it.
Wow.
You know they're kind. He was just going on. So she showed up. She counted that money. Everything was in there. She turned around, looked at your husband, and said, you need to swallow your pride, what you just said. See, this is an honest person right here. She reached there and gave me $50 and I refused it. I told her, no, you keep it. I said, you need to take him to a psychiatrist. So that's what happened to me. And yes, I did return it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When it comes to a wallet, the way I see it is this. It depends on how I'm doing in the month. If I can't pay my bills, I'm keeping the money. That's how I'm doing. Or it depends on how much trouble I gotta go to return it. That's what I'm just.
Y'all see, I'm looking like, not sir. I've been knowing you for 25 years.
To be honest, I know I would return it because integrity-wise, I just couldn't do it. And I remember me and my wife was on vacation, and I actually left my wallet in the Uber driver's car. And I remember how much trouble I had to go through to get that wallet. One, I had to cancel all my cards while we're on vacation. I mean, credit cards, debit cards, and I wasn't carrying no cash. So it was like, that was just, our whole vacation ruined until I got my wallet back. But, I was able to get my wallet back, but just that whole feeling, because we had went out to eat. I didn't have no money to even pay for it. So one of my friends paid for it, but that whole experience in a different city, not having any money, I felt destitute. And then I'm with my wife at the same time, so on the real, I just consciously, I couldn't do it, and I would hate for someone to have to go through just that little experience. And just even thinking about it, I remember I was younger, but I lost $10. For about 3 years, I kept looking, where I thought I lost it in that neighborhood. For some reason, I just wanted to keep going back there.
For 3 years, huh?
It bothered me that much.
Wow.
I wanted that.
Miss Queen, you want to chime in on that?
Yes, definitely. I would definitely return it. I've not been in a situation where I found a wallet before, but I definitely will return it. You got to think about, I think about it from a faith perspective. That's just the right thing to do. And like you said, you don't know if this is somebody's last. You don't know, if it's their, money for their kid's trip or money for, diapers, or you just don't know. And it's just the right thing to do, And you never know what blessing is going to come out of that,
Right.
Yeah. Can I piggyback on something my husband said? Let's just be real. If someone was in a situation and they're thinking about their food insecurity, okay, and they find this wallet and they got a way, this money I just found can take care of my family for a week or 2 weeks. Because we don't know what we gonna eat or how we gonna eat for the next 2 weeks. But on this end, if I return it, where am I going to be at if I return it? What am I going to do? The blessing, the curse. The blessing, the curse. I had a situation where I know someone had found a wallet or I don't know if it was a wallet, billfold, whatever. They found something. And the person that they returned it to not only gave them all the cash that they had in that particular item, like I said, I don't know what it was, but they gave them all the cash that was in the bag or wallet or whatever that was in there, plus they gave them additional.
See.
Just because
Being
of their
honest.
honesty.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that
Yeah.
blessing of that curse, yes, I know, you may be dealing with food insecurity or,
Yeah.
you may be dealing with life, right?
Yeah.
But the blessing behind you doing what's right,
That's right. You never know.
outweighs each and every time to me.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. So it looks like everybody said they will return the wallet.
Absolutely.
See, now that opinion right there, that was something else. Our opinion was all about the same, that this is what we're going to do. We're going to return the wallet, which is good. I like that. So we're going to jump on the next one. And we was debating about this one before you got here, Miss Queen, before you got here. Should students get mental health days off from school? Now, before we go there, I want to say there are 2 schools in the United States that give students a day off mental health. They get 5 days per every 3 months, I think I read, for mental health. And how can I put it? My man brought it up earlier. Who is the one that dictates what is mental health and what is it for? And y'all had a good debate going on over there, talking about, what are the criteria? It changes all the time. So what is mental health today and what is it tomorrow?
We were talking about the DSM-5 and what diagnoses that are in the DSM-5 that constitutes mental health crisis or situations or diagnoses. And what Brian was saying was, because the DSM-5 changes, how can you truly, utilize that as a roadmap to determine if someone, is dealing with mental health issues or not?
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, I'm just going to say, I think that that's up to, of course, a professional to determine what constitutes mental health for that particular school, district, or school. But I do think that there should be something allowed for children who are dealing with mental health issues to be able to take that time. I know me as an adult who personally deal with mental health issues, I need my moments. I need my time. So what makes me any different than a kid in today's society, especially?
Precisely. Yes.
Who may be dealing with some mental health issues and challenges, especially post-COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the different situations that happen in our different school districts and schools. So I think that they should be able to have mental health days. And
Yeah.
I don't think it's designated by them, but in the midst of that particular crisis, if a student calls or a parent calls and says, my child needs to take a mental health day, here's the doctor's excuse. Keep it moving.
Yeah, I agree. I chuckled when I first took a look at that question, thinking about, when I was in school, which was some time ago, and there was just not even thought of, no matter what was going on, we had, things that could happen at the school. It can be something traumatic, kids getting sick or somebody had an accident, whatever, like major things, and you didn't hear about it before. I agree when you say I think it should be based on the situation. If it is something like, we've had a few mass shootings, things like that, yeah, definitely. Those children need mental health days. I think that they should have some allotted, not, like say, 5 per year. I don't know how they had it at those particular schools, but for some things to use that it's not marked against them, when it comes to their attendance. But it should be on a case-by-case basis, because kids nowadays are dealing with a lot more than, what each generation had to deal with something. But I think right now, the state of our society right now, I think there's a lot going on and a lot for children to have to digest at such a young age. So
I'm gonna ask Dr. Cross, because she was in the school district for a little bit.
I was waiting on my turn.
Yeah, because I know, because you was in the school district, you've seen a lot of things in school that we don't see.
Yeah, so in my opinion, I think that it should be based on the individual person's opinion. So I do think that days should be allotted to the students just as they are allotted to the staff members, because staff members now get mental health days and they don't have to have a diagnosed mental health issue or anything like that. And so because we are having mass school shootings and different things like that that affect people in different ways, just so just an example, there could be a mass shooting. Oh, okay. So, right. Not last year, year before, I think it was, right at the last day of school when the Uvalde shooting, took place. Right. So all my family was calling me from Chicago to check on me, check on my daughter. We weren't there at that school, but did that not affect a lot of Texans?
yes.
Did that not affect a lot of people who were, living in Texas, around there, who were in the school system? So I may have needed a mental health day, or my daughter could have needed a mental health day, for that, because, she could have been quite shook up, and millions of other kids or students, and she doesn't necessarily have to have a diagnosed mental health issue for her to need a mental health day after that, because so many kids were just afraid to go back to school
Yeah.
because of that, at the beginning of the school year, because that happened at the very last day of school. And so you go to, start, sorry about the background, but you go to start the new school year, and now you have this anxiety, you have this uneasy feeling, you have this uncertainty that you're going through. So I think that the students should definitely get mental health days, and they should be allotted, they should get the same amount as the staff members get, in my opinion.
I agree.
Well,
Yes,
let me
definitely.
just add to it. For my opinion with that, what I do agree with it, but because we're dealing with the youth, their mind is so delicate, it's still developing. I look at the source versus the symptom, and if we're not really trying to deal with the source, we're actually wasting the time to give them that time off, because they can come back more dramatic or more,
More traumatized.
Yeah, more traumatized than before. So with that, only thing I would agree with is if we do give them that help, we give them the day off, but they should be required, we should be required in the public school system to also render some type of aid that they should seek with those days off, because we need to be able to equip them to be able to come back a little bit better or more stable than what they left with. That's the only thing I would add to it, that we are trying to get them some kind of help because of how delicate their mind is as youth.
So my question is 5 days enough?
It depends on what type of help we're giving them, and if it's not about the days, they might need that short time off, but we are still offering them some kind of help on the backdrop of it, But
Yeah.
at least those 2 days they can take a break from everything and just be able to get in a safe situation to where at least they can allow their mind to rest, to be open to the help.
Yeah. Ooh, see that subject right there, this one right here could go on and on and on, because mental health is hitting everybody different.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, and so my question would be, who's playing mental health and who isn't.
That's what I mean. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
But if we're making sure that they're seeking help with the day off, then those who are playing will be less to play with it, knowing that because you never know. We all can need help mentally because we're dealing with with
Life.
social media and everything.
Yeah.
Everything's moving so much faster than before. So you might need help and never knew it. So as long as we're getting them help with the days off, even if they're not taking it serious, we're taking it serious because they're at the end of the day, their mind is still developing.
Right.
And you just never know. You have to cast that net of protection, regardless of if it's a mass shooting, if it's a death of a loved one, if it's a diagnosis of a mental illness, you still have to cast that net of protection. Like my husband says, source and symptom. When we deal with people, we always, at least I know, just taking leave from my husband, is whenever I talk with someone, always source and symptom. Whenever I'm counseling someone, it's always source and symptom. I deal with mental health cases every day, and I always look at source and symptom and how am I going to cast this net of protection for this person that's in front of me. So if we're not giving them a solution to that day off, or while they're on that break or whatever, to be able to deal with and cope with whatever the mental health issue that they're going through, that crisis in that moment, we felt them.
Right. Well, I think there's two things. Kind of, I can speak to what Dr. Cross was saying also. What if it's not so black and white? What if it's the gray area? You're just overwhelmed. It may be you just had a couple of exams. You may be a senior thinking about college. You may be an 8th grader thinking about high school. You may have a sibling going off to school. And I'm just, thinking of things off the top of my head because I've been in higher ed for quite a while. But it could be any number of things where you just need a moment. You just may need that day. Now, I do think it's a good idea that there is something offered, right? But I don't know if I would make that mandatory because say for instance somebody is in just having a moment, right? And if we make that mandatory, it could be helpful, right? The parent takes the child, or the child as a teenager goes on their own and they go and speak to a counselor. That could be I think it's a good idea and I think it could be helpful. However, there's the thought that, or I'm thinking that what if it wasn't helpful? What if it was a situation where the person is, whether it's a death in the family, they're having a crisis, whatever they're going through, and they just need that moment to be still. And to force them to have to go and speak to somebody, it may not, what is going to come out of that one sitting or that 1 hour? I think it should be made available, but I don't know if it should be made mandatory.
I think available is good.
Yeah.
I definitely think available is good, and that's why I say that net of protection,
Yeah, definitely.
casting it out there to make sure that they have the resources that can benefit them, even if they're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Okay, you're overwhelmed right now. What are some things that you can put into place, whereas next time you have a mechanism to be able to help you through that process of being overwhelmed? If it's, time management, if it's something, practicing self-care or your breathing techniques, something that's a part of that, casting that net of protection for that person.
You just said something really, really good. You said self-care, self-love, us taking care of ourselves. Aside from just giving them mental health days, what about implementing something like that in the schools altogether? Just taking time, whether it's once a month, once a week, to give children an opportunity to have a safe space to whether it's talking about something, in educating them on what mental health looks like, what it is crisis, what it, different issues they may be going through as young adults and then teenagers. Maybe that along with availability of counseling, but making sure that they even understand what they may be going through. I know when I was younger, we had that health education piece, and it dealt with a lot of different stuff, right? What you would be going through in adolescence, what's going to happen as you get older. We had that. I don't know if they even still have those classes now. It's a lot different.
They still have it.
What's that, Dr. Cross?
I was just saying they do. They still have it.
They still have it,
And
okay.
are they even speaking to that? Maybe if that was if that was something, if they were to implement something where they taught them what self-care is and how to go about doing that, and different tools that they could use, then maybe that also would help as far as, having those mental health days. That would help.
Well, it has, since the pandemic, since the school shootings, we have been overwhelmed well beyond that. I got a friend of mine named Martha Rice that she deals with that, and she said there's not enough mental health workers.
It's not.
It's not.
There's 350 patients for each worker, if I'm right.
Wow.
Maybe she'll call in and explain that to me. But it has just ballooned, and mental health is a vast. What is mental health? It could be kids being bullied at school and taken the wrong way. Be somebody at work, a coworker messing with them, and mental health falls into such a broad umbrella that there's
Yes.
really, I don't know if there's any guidelines, but I'm seeing actually there's no guidelines on some of it. They got the guidelines in that.
DSM-5.
Yeah, the
Diagnosis,
guidelines are in there, but they're constantly evolving and changing all the time. So how do we turn around and cope with that?
I think it's a matter of each individual, first and foremost.
Self-awareness.
Because what looks like mental health crisis to me may not look like a crisis to someone else.
Precisely.
So I think that having those conversations like you talked about is very, very important, and just really source and symptom, looking at what a person is going through, because even the youngest to the oldest can have a crisis. I have 7 grandkids.
Oh, wow.
And
That's a
all
blessing.
of them have their own dynamic personalities. And, I just look at each one of them. Something may make one sad versus something may make that other one happy. So you have to look at the individual aspect, but talking about it.
Yeah.
I think it's the biggest lack that we have is talking about it, outside of not having enough professionals who are in the mental health realm, even with mental health social work, LPC, psychologists. There's just not enough to go around.
You just said something again, the communication piece. Like right now, it's not about communicating. I don't know about anybody else, but when we were younger, we had to talk. Like in the evening, whether it be at dinner time, whether it be right after school, you sat and we had a conversation, about what was going on. And now that doesn't really happen a lot for a lot of young people. That space is not given. Also, Ron, you said something also when you mentioned COVID, the whole pandemic. We got to remember we were stuck. We were in the house. We were sheltered in place. So you had to deal with yourself. There was no, let me get up, let me get ready for work, let's rush through rush hour, get to work, be busy all day, come home, cook dinner, tend to the kids, go. There was not that. You didn't have that same schedule. Now, some of us were working from home, but it still was not that hustle and bustle. So you had to deal with you, or your spouse, or your kid. You had to deal with it.
Yeah.
You had to deal with it, and so that is maybe why we see such a rise. And then,
Definitely.
Do y'all think, I grew up in the 70s, right? We used to have a class called critical thinking skills.
Yes.
I think they need to return that.
Yes.
Because I think that, a lot of the kids, but when I'm talking about critical thinking skills, I'm thinking about like a lot of kids, they only see the pleasure or the reward. They fail to see the consequence,
Yeah, yeah,
And I think
yeah.
if the kids could see the consequence before the reward, it would make them be a little bit more cautious about some of the things that cause mental anguish for them. So me personally, my opinion is I'm voting for them to bring back critical thinking skills back to school.
Well, I was listening to everything. God, this thing pick up everything, don't it? Good God. I would say that was my stomach. If it was, I need to go to the hospital. But I'm going back to COVID again. I think a lot of the stuff started with COVID. Number one, we did not have time to prepare for this.
Yeah.
We just stopped what we were doing, and we made things up as we went along. Was it right or wrong? We didn't know. As long as we woke up the next morning without COVID, we were good. Now we're suffering from the after effects of COVID. Now we're seeing what really happened, that it really hurt a lot. It mainly hurt the kids because they like socializing. They couldn't socialize. Even though they had this with them, it wasn't the same as being in person and interacting with kids. And that age group right there that happened, we got to watch them how they're going to fit going into high school and college.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a lot of drawback now. We're going to get a lot of kids, my personal opinion, is going to be more withdrawn than being happy-go-lucky being out there. That's just my opinion.
I'm sure there are already. I mean, look at now, everything is social media. Everything is social media. I mean, you have to be on one, if not all of the apps. That's how that's how you see what's going on at the school, what's going on with your friends, who's doing what. And then it's not so much as, the kids gathering up at the school. I mean, yes, if they're in activities and in sports, and there are some that still do it, but I agree, a lot of the kids are, they're introverted now more so than before.
Yeah.
And I believe that COVID did a lot of that because they're like, oh, okay. They don't have to communicate. And when I say communicate, I don't mean through any device or through the computer. I mean literally communicating face to face. And that's taken a lot of that away to even, when you look at how kids fill out paperwork, how they write papers, college students
WSAN radio.
How they do things. It's like they write how they text. You know what I mean? I don't know if you all have noticed that it's no more communicating and expressing your feelings. Everything is shortened, quickened. It's an emoji or shorthand of some sort.
Yes, there's no humanistic connection
to it.
Right.
We were
Yes.
built to have relationships.
Yes,
There's no
yes.
relationships
It's
going
digital.
on, no connection.
All right, if y'all hold on, we got a caller calling in. Martha Rice is calling in.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
see.
Hey, Martha.
Let me
Hey, I'm
Hey.
at home with a cold.
Oh,
I'm
so
gonna
you
need
can hear
you
us.
to get better. I've been waiting to see you since September. I'm gonna need you to get on better.
I know I keep getting these on and off crazy, so it's crazy. But anyway, I'm loving the subject. But I had to chime in. Y'all all got great comments. One of the things Ron was right. It is $350 per therapist. 350 patients per therapist, which is very overwhelming. That's why if you call in and need help, you have to wait. You're on the waiting list, and it takes time for them to see you and things of that nature because they're very overwhelmed. But I think people have to understand what mental health really is. Number one, it's not always dogmatic to the point of like connected to DSM-5. It's multiple things. It's when so the DSM-5, the purpose of the DSM-5 is to have a criteria for them to say, okay, how frequent, to really give them a diagnosis. That's the purpose of it. It's connected with insurance as well. how they get paid, things of that nature. But when you talk about if you're in distress, that can be anything that alters your mental state, where you distress, anxiety, all of that. It may not be extreme to the point it's a disorder, because mental health doesn't mean disorder.
Right.
Right.
And I think that's what people get it twisted. Is I'm in distress right now, and my distress is it's subjective. It doesn't you can't nobody can determine your level of distress. And I think that if we could drop the expectation of like, do they have a mental disorder, but actually are they in distress? If they're in distress, no matter what level it is, I think they should have to take a day off
Yes.
and deal with the matter and find out the root cause. Because if we don't, we continue to keep the stigma going, but we also don't get them the help they need, and we make them feel shame.
Exactly. We got to give them that safe space, regardless of the crisis that they're in.
That is very true.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to call in and say. And then I wanted to see if I could really call in too and see.
Oh, come on, Mom.
It said on the thing, ask the lonely, and I'm like, okay. No.
Yeah, well, I answered, and it came in blank because I don't have your number saved on this phone. So I thought you was one of the Medicare people calling me saying, "Have you seen your latest?" No, I haven't seen anything, but but we do appreciate.
But yeah, I'll let y'all keep going and keep listening because it's good.
All right, we appreciate it, Martha.
Bye,
All
girl.
right.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, that was Martha Rice calling in. She's a coach and also a counselor. So something told me she was going to call in.
She helped push me to get my master's in clinical mental health.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yes, she
Yeah,
did.
She will push you.
Yes, she will.
You know what's that song? Don't push me. I'm so close to the edge. She will push you over that edge.
She definitely, we've been knowing each other for quite some time.
Yeah. All right. We don't beat up mental health. That I think we're gonna hit one more before we take a break. Dr. Cross, you want to chime in on something about mental health before we change to another question?
No,
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. Now, we talked about this one too. So,
I know where you're going.
and you know, I just, all right. Let me. I'll put the camera on me. I'm on the spot right here. All right. This is one that my opinion is totally the opposite of anybody else. Before I even read it, it said, should students be required to take an SAT and an ACT test to apply for college? This is my opinion. I'm gonna give mine first. Absolutely not. The reason why I say that is this test is not for the people or students who's in poverty. Their upbringing was totally different than what this test was written on. I think Brian said it was over in Europe or somewhere with this.
Well, it's a European test for a European mindset.
Right. And if you go take that test and you're not there, you're going to fail it. That's the bottom line. You're going to fail it. Now, there are schools now that are teaching the test. Now, is that just as good as learning or teaching a test? My philosophy is you need to learn it, because anybody can teach anybody to pass the test, but what do you get out of it? That's just my opinion. All right, Dr. Cross, I see you over there sweating bullets. I see you over there. But I have not been a fan of standard tests for kids to graduate from high school. If you taught the basic math, English, history, whatever, they should be able to pass no matter what. Why do we have to have a standardized test for them to pass to move to the next grade? And also, some schools are teaching that test. I'm gonna leave that alone.
That's all they do is teach.
Dr. Cross, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yeah, can I go first? Because I'm probably going to have to, after the break, I probably won't be able to come back because my flight board at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
But, okay, in my opinion, absolutely not. I have several reasons for this. First of all, I think Mr. Howard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It said something about it being a European test. Also, we are the United States that are not united, right? And we're not
Say
right.
that.
Every state different, different rules, different everything. And they also teach differently. So where I come from, Chicago, you had to have a 4-year degree to actually be a teacher, which means that it was invested in you. You really, this is something that you really wanted to do wholeheartedly. When I moved to Texas, there was something called alternative certification where you could be from any walk of life and just go and walk into this place or wherever and pay this amount of money and get alternative certification that you don't even have yet. You just start working on it and they put you in the classroom. You're not invested into these children and into their lives. You don't really care about, what's going on. And then getting back to the standardized assessment. So I said all of that to say that it's the same exact test that all of these kids are taking, but they're getting different education. They all
Say that.
getting something different, but you are expecting them all to pass
Uh-oh.
She froze on us.
something different. And I just don't like it. I don't understand it. I don't appreciate it. And on top of that, being in the school system, not in Illinois as much, but in Texas for sure. My God, they test those children to death
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
every week. Is a test. I mean, they have an entrance test when they walk into the classroom. At the beginning of the year, they have a 9 weeks assessment that the district is giving, and then they have a 9 week assessment that the teacher have to give to complete her grades for the stuff that she taught for the 9 weeks. Then they have a semi-annual district assessment, or so. I mean, they just come up with names for assessments every week. It's a different test or a different assessment. And when I was a teacher, I always used to say, I can walk in a classroom and by the end of the first day, I know where my students are, each and every one. I can tell what they need, what level they on, what where I got to take them, what I need to do with them, because it's invested in me.
There you go.
It's veins, it's in my blood. I live and breathe to educate these babies, and everybody don't have that same passion. And so for us to, as a nation, expect for these children to be able to take a standardized test in order to get into college is just absurd to
A
me. So
standardized
I agree.
European test.
There we go. I
Yeah.
agree. I'm not a fan at all. I agree, Dr. Cross, on so many of the points that you were making. And it's interesting to me, I'm from Chicago as well, and isn't it interesting that when you look at where the ranking is for the schools down here, I was shocked, and I won't say because, I won't say, but the ranking here is much lower, but they test it all the time. And it really makes you wonder, but they test it all the time because of the qualifications that are required for the persons that are responsible for teaching them. And then we talk about the different the socioeconomic class and how the education is. What are we being taught? And then, like you mentioned, Ron, just the students being taught for the test. I am not a fan. So my child is not learning anything other than how to pass this particular standardized test that is not designed for our children anyway. I don't understand it. If we
and
just talk basics, the basic
and
information. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I hear you over there. I hear you,
I'm
Dr.
sorry.
Cross.
I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. I hear you.
Because there's such a drastic difference, like you said, between here and where we're from. And I'm pretty
Yes.
sure it's a big difference all over the, United States, all over the world, all over the country, right? So when I was a teacher, I was able to teach outside the box. When I
Yes.
was a teacher, I wasn't held to, if I wanted to teach a different curriculum, it was okay. And my students, I mean, they soared.
Yes.
Here, they don't even, how many field trips I took my students on being here in Chicago and in Texas. They said that we could only go on one field trip a month. I mean, a year for the year. I took my students on field trips every month. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna get off
Yeah.
talking now. So
So,
okay.
I mean, I agree that learning happens, and then so much. So, learning does not only happen in the classroom,
Yes.
right? Learning is something that happens more outside the classroom and with real life experience than with anything. And to be able to teach, that's one of the things my friends and I speak about, the difference in coming from Chicago and coming, and being here now in Texas, is a lot of people, especially persons of color, are not aware. I'm not going to say persons of color, black people are not aware of it's the culture. It's like they're missing that piece, and then those that might have an inkling of the information are not even they're not aware in how they fit, how that fits into who they are. I'll put it that way for lack of a better term. But culture meaning just being able to speak to different things, going to museums and going to art galleries and going to an actual zoo and an actual, aquariums and understanding about different things. That's more than just somebody asking me a standard question that has nothing to do with the life that I live, or that something that I would never even see, or thinking that I wouldn't have to be prone to, because I don't have to. I have to endure other things aside from just what this paper is telling me. My life consists of more than just the questions that you're asking, because we have to live in the skin every day. And it makes a big difference. There's more learning that comes with that. When we go out and express what we see, what we may see in a photo or what we may see in a piece of art is going to be much different than what our European society and what everything is based on here. It's going to be a lot different, because that's not, we don't see things through those eyes. We have to see things through our experience, and our experience has not been an experience that's inclusive at all. But that'll take me. I'm gonna get off my high horse. I can go down the rabbit hole.
Okay, before we go, I know for you say something, Brian. I'm gonna let Dr. Cross go because it's 9 o'clock and I don't want her to miss her plane.
Yes.
We appreciate you taking time out the airport, being on Crystal Cross, Dr. Crystal Cross.
Yes.
This was very enjoyable. Thank you.
Okay, and
Have safe
Travel
travels, sis.
safely.
yes.
Thank you.
And we bring me back a bag of Jay's potato chips.
It's too late. It's too late.
Okay. All right. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank
Okay.
y'all. Y'all enjoy.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Bye.
Alrighty.
All right. That was Crystal Cross. She was chiming in all the way from the airport on her way to Chi-Town.
Yes.
So, but we appreciate you and everything. Now, Brian, you was getting ready to say something.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna give my opinion from a black male's perspective, right? Now, this is just my opinion. I believe that the SAT and the ACT is actually there to discourage young. I'll make it more applicable to me. I believe that it's there to discourage us from going to college, because we're taking a test that does not apply to us. So it makes it seem like we're not worthy to go to college, right? So we end up going in the opposite direction. But I can pretty much bet my check for a whole year, if we look at statistically, those who actually bypass having to take the SATs, end up going to college, end up doing excellent in college, and they have great careers to this day because they never had to take the SATs.
Say that.
Yes.
Say
So
Yes.
that's what I look at it, and that's why I strongly believe that it's a European test with a European mindset, and it doesn't even correlate our intelligence, or my intelligence as a black man, or our intelligence as black men coming up. It's just discouraging. And I just think that I guarantee if you look statistically on those who end up going to college as adults that didn't have to do that, they are exceptional in the college curriculum.
Speaking of statistics, do we have any statistics to show exactly when those tests were designed and when they started? Because I bet you, if we look at it, well, first of all, we already know that everything is by design.
Oh, yes.
And exactly what you said, that is exactly the reason that these tests, these aptitude tests and standardized tests were created in the first place, not just to discourage, but to eliminate our opportunities to do certain things. I mean, we do have schools and universities that are HBCUs and that are designed, so that we did have those opportunities, but at every turn.
It was probably a week after integration.
Exactly right. Exactly right. You know what I mean? And it's like, even when we get a table of our own, and if we build the table, sand it down, get it perfect, and sit at it, then they want to see that, and they want to decide how exactly we're going to rule at this table. But for these standardized tests, I do agree with you wholeheartedly that they are designed as a way to eliminate our, not only to take away that you're not self-esteem, but to put you in a mindset that you're not worthy of or that you can't, but also to just eliminate that opportunity altogether.
Because the average younger black male, our minds are still developing.
Yes.
So it takes a little bit longer
Yes.
as a male for your
Yeah.
mind to fully develop.
Yes.
So when you're younger, you're more influenced. So it's very discouraging.
Yes, it
And
is.
to piggyback off that, saying our mind is always developing, we are thrown stuff at us. The
Yes.
first thing we're scared of is the police.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw that in there. How can your mind develop when you're always looking over your shoulder that somebody's gonna do something to you?
Any authority, any type of person that has any authority, because it is by design. It is by design that not only we as a people are not as successful, but especially our men. We can see that, and I promise not to go down the rabbit hole, but we can see that in just, if we look
coming.
at, right, I'm trying
I see you trying, but it's coming. It's coming.
we can see that in everything that we do. It's like, okay, this is not working, let's try something else. This is not working, let's try something else. But these standardized tests, I think, are a beginning to that.
And I think that with the standardized testing, like our different state testing,
Yes.
right? You teach the STAR, or I'm from Detroit, Brian's from Ohio. Each state has
Y'all
their
had the Iowa test also? Did y'all
we
have-
had the MEAT test.
Oh, okay.
So each state has their particular test, but what you're doing is you're teaching that student that state, and that's
Yes,
it.
that's it.
But you're
Yes.
not expanding their mind that they can go to Germany, they can go to Italy, they can go to Egypt and Japan and learn different things. You're just teaching them to pass a test, but not expanding their horizon of the potential that they truly have. I mean, here I am, a little old girl from Detroit, bad as heck growing up, okay? Kicked out of all Detroit public high schools, had to go to all-girl Catholic school. But I've seen the entire world,
Yes.
and it wasn't because I took the MEAT test. It was because of what my mom instilled in me, but the decisions that I had to make to get me out of where I was at. So if we're just keeping their minds to here in Texas or here in Michigan, there in Michigan, or wherever, and not expanding, we're doing a disservice to our children.
Exactly.
Now, just before we go to break, I'm gonna mention this. Years ago, very years ago, Japan came over here and studied our education, how we taught. They took that, went back to their place, enhanced that, and now I'm going down a rabbit hole right now myself. Why is it that we get people from other countries come over here and they excel in our education and college and stuff. And we got people right here that will not do it.
You know why? Because the U.S. is designed to move people out of fear. We have always been designed that way. It is a fear tactic. Our news, our media, everything. It's to put the fear in people to get them to move. It's manipulative in how we get our society to move. In other countries, you get the news and that's it. You get the real true facts. It's not about a fear factor. It's not about trying to get you to believe one thing or another. It's not, granted they do have those news sources, but overall, in most other countries, you're getting true fact. And you get to have your own opinion about whatever it is. They're going to tell you this is what he said,
And
this is what
news-
he said, and you have your own opinion.
And that news is raw.
Yes.
It's very
it is
raw.
very raw.
You see things they wouldn't show over here.
And over here is they've been manipulated to say, okay, well, we need these people to move like this, so we're going to do this. We need these people to move like this, so we're going to do this. And in fact, so much so that depending on where you are in this country determines what type of news that you're going to see
Oh, yes,
in the first
definitely.
place. I mean, look
Definitely.
at how granted, Chicago is bad. There is a lot going on in Chicago, but the way that they depict it in other countries, I hate when people walk up to me and say Chirac. No, I'm not from Chirac. I'm from Chicago. I didn't have that experience. And granted, it is bad everywhere. I'm saying it's getting worse. Because it's getting worse all over the world. But
And that's the key. It's not just in
it's
one
not
location.
just in
that
one
is bad.
location.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
You're going to find a bad neighborhood
Everywhere.
wherever you go. It doesn't matter where.
But
You
the
know,
media
it's-
needs to move people a certain way. So our country is based in that. So it's okay. It's the goal to make sure that we keep our children closed-minded so that they don't expand. They don't want to go to these other countries. Do you know how many children and young people I hear say that they don't want to go here? Oh, I wouldn't go over there. Why?
I
Why
hear it
not?
a lot with Haiti.
Yeah.
I'm not going to Haiti.
Why
All that
not?
black magic and this and that. Haiti is the most beautifulest country I've ever seen.
But you would go to the
Beautiful.
Dominican Republic, and the only difference is the people that colonized them, and they the same people.
Amen to that.
Exactly.
But anyway.
Exactly.
Okay, let's go ahead and
Outstanding.
take this break. We're on a roll. We're on a roll. I'm letting everybody know that we are broadcasting live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, and we have all that going on. And we're gonna be back with Lakeisha, Brian, my queen, and myself. So y'all just sit back, relax. We'll catch everybody in a little bit. All right, there we go. The Love I Lost. Harold Melvin and Blue Notes here on WSAN Radio. This is our December roundtable. And off the record, it's gonna be on the record in a few. we were just sitting there, just talking, having a good time, just doing our thing. But it's all good what's going on. So we're talking about slavery and all that other stuff that's going on in the world. And there are still some states here that it's still legal to have a slave.
Talk about it.
They have not taken it off
Talk
there.
about it.
They have not taken it off. It's still out there in mainly the southern states.
Yeah.
I want to say Mississippi is one of them. I'm not too sure, but I think I'm pretty close. Which goes to our next question. Boy, y'all good. I like this. Does the United States owe reparations to the descendants of enslaved people?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to start off with my opinion on this one. Evanston, Illinois. They started paying back, they started doing this. They had it in their budget. And the deal is, you couldn't just move to Evanston, Illinois and get the money. You have to be there. And the first criteria was, you got the money if you want to pay off your house or bills or anything like this. They won't give it to you, let you just go run butt wild. There was a system in it, and you had to register for it. And they vetted you real well before they gave you that money. So I know Evanston, Illinois started doing it, and I think California has some law out. They're going to start doing it too.
Did they actually start already in Evanston, or were
Yes.
they just talking
No,
about
they
it?
started in Evanston. They
Okay.
started already. And they put money in the budget again for the next group. So if you receive that money first time around, you're not getting the second time around. So don't hold your hand out. But that's one thing Evanston, Illinois started doing, I think it was 2 years ago. I read an article on that. And I like the way they had it structured, that you couldn't get it. You had to prove that you got a house or you got bills. I don't know how they did it, but people actually got the money. You know, I don't know how much. It depends on what it was, and that's how they did it. So, but my opinion is, yes, we're owed more than that.
Yes, a whole lot more. I think that we should have free education. We should have free health care. We should get our land. Yes, it doesn't necessarily have to be monetary, because we can get all those things if given opportunity. We are very creative people. Do you know how many millionaires were made during COVID?
Oh, yes.
We are very resourceful. But if you constantly are moving the finish line every time I get close to it, then it makes it a little bit harder for me to utilize the my skill and ability.
Right.
But if you give me my land, I can eat. If you give me my education, I can develop some things. And if you give me my health, I'll be okay. We already know how to use herbs and spices and grow, and there's a green thumb in every black family that I know. Now, I might not be the green thumb in my family, but I know I can call my sister, my mom, or my dad. You know what I'm saying? I can grow me anything I need if given that, something. Everybody else gets theirs. Even everybody we bring over here gets money to build, to start,
Some
to have
form
a leg
of
up,
money
some form of
Yes.
grant from the government. Everybody,
Yes, for years.
for years. And I'm trying to keep myself from being canceled, but before I even get famous. But even certain groups that were the perpetrators of heinous crimes against humanity, against people, were able to come over to the United States and get paid on a regular, and are still to this day in hiding and getting paid for it. Still. But we are supposed to forget each and every time. We were the first ones that y'all burned in the chambers, but we are supposed to forget. People don't even talk about the Holocaust and black people in the same sentence, but we were there. Not only were we there, we were the ones made to be the bullies to gather the people for you to burn in the first place. And then you made us test out the chambers. But you don't want to talk about that. We're supposed to forget. Don't ask me if we owed some reparations. We owed a whole lot more than that.
I got a great opinion about this. Like, this is how I feel about reparations, right? With reparations, I don't think we should be giving money, right? Because America was founded off the backs of blacks. So what I think they need to do is, because the people who did that, they have inheritance. They have so much inheritance that they can't spend it.
Yes.
They pass it down from generation to generation. So I think the Black Rocks, the Rothschilds, those who own the railroads, those who, Johnson & Johnson, anybody who has inheritance that been passing it down, instead of giving us our money, we all get, blacks get a portion of the ownership, so we can get reoccurring residuals. And the only disqualification of that residual is if any black, once we get the inheritance, you can't harm another black. If you harm another black, you disqualify your inheritance. So that means that we have to communitize together, just like they did, and we keep our inheritance, and it never disappears. Never. Because one thing, like, I sit and think about this thing, they're so rich that if anything threatens their inheritance, it dies off. Like, if you see a youth that gets caught on drugs in the Johnson family or something like that, look at their kids. They're dead. They're dead. They're not going to let them squander their inheritance.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't want us to get a percentage of some kind of money, because that's going to leave. We need the insurance company that had insurance for slavery, that is got so much money right now that it can't be spent. Them, We all get percentage ownership of those companies, and as long as they exist, we get that.
Yes.
And so to me, that's only fair, because if you equate what they were supposed to give us that they never gave us, then we get that. So we disqualify ourselves if we harm each other. That's the only disqualification. Other than
Yeah.
that, as long as you're being born and those residuals keep coming in, we just keep getting them. So,
I like that.
And they can say it's unfair, but no, you can't.
Right.
So that's just my strong opinion about that, because I just don't think it's fair to give us a little bit of money. They don't have a little bit of money. If you
There's
trace
no
this
money
back
in the world.
from slavery till now, these are the same businesses. So now if you track how many gazillions of dollars that they've made over those years, that's ours. The only way we can get that back is to own these companies throughout eternity. Until they die, our residuals don't die. That's
Yeah.
just my strong opinion about reparations. And I think that that's the key to our success. If you're going to give it to us, give us to us in a way that is going to benefit us.
Yeah.
We get to
Amen.
get real lawyers where we're not getting locked up for stupid crimes.
Yeah.
All this stuff, and we just get to unite in a real way, not in a fictitious way, not where we have one leader trying to represent us. None of that. We all represent each other, and we empower each other. And the only downside is if any of us hurt one another, you're disqualified.
Yeah.
You get to be with the Europeans. There you go.
The conditioning is so deep at this point.
And
though,
that's
you
just
know.
my strong opinion, and I'm not being racial about it. These are just facts to me, and I think they could be backed up factual if you trace these companies and
Oh, heck
all
yeah.
their old profit and how they came about.
Yeah,
So
but these companies
we
now-
want reoccurring residuals.
Yeah.
My opinion is the same as his, because we talk about this quite often.
Those companies though, we have to. I mean, I would be interested to see what they're investing this money in now, because
It doesn't matter. They make so
My,
much money,
they
it
do.
can't be spent.
they do. But when I speak to like the conditioning, like not only the conditioning of us as Black people, but also these companies and what they're investing in, and they're investing consistently in our demise, you know, backing the prison systems, backing different laws that are being put into effect, backing these politicians. So there's a whole slew of things that have to happen before, you know,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
the reparations. But I do believe that you know, having a stake in these companies, and each tribe, I say tribe when I speak to families, even in my own family, each you know, parent of their kids, each tribe gets so much, and you are responsible for that. You know, whatever your stake is, you are responsible for making sure that you grow that. You know, but again, you know, give me my land, make sure I have my land, I have my education, I have my health.
Amen. I agree 110% on everything everybody's saying.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now we gotta get other people to believe it.
That goes to the condition, and now it's you know, to get people to actually pay attention, you know, and the whole conditioning that it's not possible, we couldn't have it, the self-hate and all that, not being able to look at yourself in the mirror, you know, the colorism, all those, I can go down a list, all those different things that cause us not to unite and you know, be able to join with one another and have decent conversations and have a united front, you know, all those things that come into play. Let's, you know, if we could kind of reverse that conditioning, you know.
Change the trajectory.
Yes.
Yes. Which is, golly. See, I came up with these questions. I didn't think they're gonna fall into place like they're falling. You know, it's almost like I'm reading the script here, and it's not. So we were talking about get the information out there, get everything done, which goes to this right there. How do you decide what news to believe, what to question, and what to dismiss? Something came to my head. The former administration, they came out with alternative facts. Those are alternative facts. And somebody said those are blatant lies. But they put a spin on it and called it alternative facts and make it sound like it's, oh wow, it's blatant lies. So my opinion on this right here, the American people was fed garbage. They was fed disagree with anything anybody else got to say. They were fed with don't omit anything, and they're doing that right now. And the best one is this: they place in doubt in everything that this country and Constitution stand for. And I'm gonna blame the media, because it's the media's fault. They're the ones reporting the news. As Brian was saying, across seas, they get the raw. They get the news exactly how it is. We turn around with the news with the former administration. They could have shut him down the first time around when he lied, but they chose not to. And now what's going on is the lies still keep on going, and now you got people believing. If you tell a lie enough, somebody's gonna start believing it. And these people are now, they're believing what's going on out there. And this guy said, I could shoot somebody in New York City and won't mind do anything to him. He is so right, because he manipulated them so much and so bad that they could talk bad about one thing and turn around and suck up to them the next thing. I know this is going political. There's another question that's going to go into that. But if we turn around and start believing without looking at the facts. Who said that? Dragnet. Just the facts, just the facts. We are so far away from the facts nowadays, it's a crying shame. The facts are put to the side. The alternative facts took over where the facts are at.
I think an individual has to do their research. I truly believe that if you do not do the research for yourself, you're not going to know. If you don't educate yourself on what someone is telling you, you're not going to know.
It's just
So
like
taking that time out to do the research for yourself, it's just like you study the word. Well, I'm not going to say
yes. Go and speak it.
You got to study it,
Yes,
right, for
yes,
yourself.
yes.
Somebody can tell you this is what said the word, but until you look in black and white for yourself, you're not going to know if thus said the word. You need to do the research.
Yeah.
You don't take anybody, to me, my opinion, you don't take everybody's word as law.
Yes.
Fact check.
Let's be honest though, the lie is entertaining. The truth is boring.
Yeah.
The lie is more entertaining. Like you got to look at it for that. People like to be entertained. That's just what it is. And so it's easier, even when you're telling a story. If you exaggerate that story a little bit, the story is so much better. That's why it's like, you know what? I can't tell this story. You tell it so much better. No, you just a better liar than me. You know what I'm saying? You know? So at the end of the day, and then with social media, a lie can go all around the world within seconds before anybody hears the truth.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just how it goes, and that's just a part of nature. So for me, one thing I try to install in my sons is, you know, if it could be proven by facts and evidence, it doesn't matter if you believe it or not. If it's true, it's just true.
Yeah.
You can't change truth. Truth lives throughout eternity. And I stand on that. And I would never debate truth. If I present it, your responsibility is to either receive it or reject it, but it's not on me anymore. I'm free.
Yeah.
That's why it's like this right here is opinions, which makes it really cool to hear different perspectives, which, you know, it's good. It enhances our learning, but at the end of the day, facts are what we stand on. Facts are what we base our life on. You know, if it's not factual and it's opinion, everybody has an opinion, but okay, you know, everybody also breathes too. It's a big deal. Big deal.
The truth needs no explanation. And like I was taught, even in my faith, you know, The pastor can tell you something. You can read about, they can give you a verse in Bible study, but until you go in and find that truth for yourself, and then when you think you found the truth, then you find the truth in that truth. You know, you have to study. You have to research. You have to look for the truth. You can't just believe what people are telling you. You know, just like what's going on overseas right now. You know, we have to be able to look at other news outlets, and thank God for the internet in this case. You know, thank God for us being able to go out and search those other news outlets to find the truth, because that needs no explanation. The way that our news runs, it's like the latest reality show.
Yeah.
And that's how
Yeah.
other countries view it. I mean, it's like it's a joke. Our news is only designed, one, for fear, and two, like you said, for entertainment.
And put them
And
both
it might be
together.
a sprinkling of news in there somewhere, of truth in there somewhere.
They put that at the last 5 minutes.
Right.
Not even the 5 minutes in most cases.
Right at commercial.
They cut the last one off with a commercial.
Right.
And then when they come back and they got 1 minute for the show's over, they say, and then that's it.
You waited the whole 30 minutes to see that little
The little blurb right
They
there.
said like real fast at the end, like the commercials.
like an
Like the
infomercial.
infomercial.
Yes. Which brings to this one right. Boy, we're on a roll today, because this leads up to the next question. Why is it important for people with different political beliefs to talk to each other? I think that right there, the last part, talk to each other, that is what we're missing nowadays.
Yeah.
We are so split apart. I'm not going to say who fault it is, but we know who fault it is. We used to be able to sit down, agree to disagree.
Yeah.
You know, and we will have the same common goal that we want for everybody.
Yeah.
Now, Congress is voting whatever Republicans vote, everybody vote that way, don't vote this way. There's no more interacting and talking anymore. And we're not going to get nothing resolved until we start going across the aisle like we used to and talk to each other. And then people out in the streets, matter of fact, I was bowling. And this one guy came up to me and talked to me. I don't know, he just came up and said out the wild blue, "Hey, Ron, do you truly believe that Trump took all those documents down there? Do you truly believe that? Is it the truth, or is somebody making it up?" I said, "Well, why are you coming at me like that?" "Well, I just want to know, because I figure that you're black and you're a Democrat." And I turn around, well, I could say the same for you. You're white and you're Republican, but I can't say that. I say, why is that? Because I think you're stupid. For asking me that question like that. You want to know the facts? The facts is this. Did he get caught with those documents there? Yes or no? Well, were they really there? I say, see, you in that defiant state where you want to throw doubt. There's no doubt out there. It was there. What he did on January 6th, it was there. Nobody did that but himself. So when you come telling me, because I'm black, I must be a Democrat, I say, let me educate you, son, because I think you don't know what's going on. When it's the open election, when you could vote either party, either way, I said, I vote for the right person. If he's Republican, if I think he's the right person, I'm going to vote for him. If he's independent, I'm going to vote for him. If he's a Democrat, I'm going to vote for him. I do not go in there with my blinders on and just hit all party like that. You have to educate yourself on who you're voting for. Educate other people next to you. Don't make their mind up for this. Well, he's doing this, she's doing it, she's doing that. That's the reason why I'm voting for him, because I think it's a good fit of what we need right now.
Research.
And that's vet them as much as you can and find out. Matter of fact, Miss Queen said it earlier. I love the internet. You go back and find some stuff them knuckleheads did years ago, thought I was hidden. It's one thing about the internet. Once you put it out there, you can't take it back.
Yes.
It's out there. And a lot of these people are getting caught on things they said. I didn't say that. Boom.
It's
Remember
right
this
here.
right here? There it is. So back to my opinion. I think we need to talk to each other. Whether you're black, white, Republican, Democrat, Asian, Hispanic, don't make a difference. We all got our different belief of what we believe in, but we all stressing for one common goal. And as soon as we start talking across the lines again and reaching that goal, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to politics, we make it too difficult. Because I was born in the 70s, I always bring that up. I remember being a politician was something to strive for.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
had great reputations, integrity, things of that nature. But now they got so many skeletons. For me, I just make it very simple. I don't really care about the parties. What I do is I look at who directly affects me the best.
Yeah.
And that's who I support. Like, I look at, are my taxes down? Am I making more money? I'm selfish when it comes to voting. Because they're all liars. All they care about is votes and money. They don't care about us. So why would I care about them? I'm just looking at how can I support my family and live a peaceful life, and who's going to help me get there. And other than that, I don't even know their names. I just research them. I find out,
Look at the
okay,
facts.
what do they believe in? Okay, that's what I want. I'll support them because you can't listen to them.
Yeah.
You know why you can't listen to them? I'm going to give you a good reason why. Because they got these freaking talking points.
Votes and money.
They got these talking points. You get up and ask them a question. It's just like a telemarketer calling you.
Yeah,
If you ask them outside what they're supposed to say, they tell you, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
And then they come back and repeat the same thing over again.
Or what they do is they never answer a question. They answer something else that has nothing to do with. Because I sit with my wife and I'd be like, he didn't answer the question. That wasn't even what we asked. He actually changed the whole topic. Mm-hmm. That has nothing to do with what we wanted to know. It's like how you feel about abortion. Well, I think that, we need to look at rights and what's important. Like, hold on, bro, we didn't even ask that.
And when Hillary did this,
Like, well, you talking about rights and then racial discrimination? Like, hold on.
no, we were talking about this.
Yes.
That's what they do.
It's easy to bring up a more enhancing topic to distract people who are trying to really hear it, and they don't even see it. But I'm like, this dude never answered the question. So for me, when it comes to politics, man, I just really vote for who directly affects me the best.
Well, I'm gonna let you know. What's his face got voted out of Congress today.
Who's that?
What's this
He
guy's
said, what's
name?
his face?
I said, what's his
Actually,
face?
that's what his name is to me.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but he said, if you mess with me, I'm gonna mess with you. You dude, you have no clout. You lied to get all the way in there. He said, I can't think of his name. He said, my mother was Jewish. He says things like, well, I didn't say that. I said ish. I didn't say that she was or not. I said ish. See, politicians, they play on those words too. It's a word game for them. And
Crazy.
I get, yeah.
So, your question of whether or not people should talk about it and have differing opinions, I think so. I think that it's healthy. I think it will help you to open up your mind, you'll get an idea of where other people are coming from, and it may have you may be exposed to something that you didn't even know about this other party or the person or what have you. So I think it can be a good thing. If it is too, I would say, not necessarily mature, but to people who know how to communicate.
I think that
That's
is
key.
mature.
That's key.
That comes with maturity.
Yeah.
And maturity can be at any point, right? But if they don't know how to communicate,
Yes.
if a person can't communicate, there's no point in sitting down and talking about, because the opinions are going to clash
Yes.
at the end of the day.
And it'll be more of a heated debate rather than a conversation.
Heated debate. Is that a nice way of saying argument?
I was always told in order to be a great communicator, you have to be a great listener.
Yes.
Because if you can't listen to what somebody's saying and you over talk them, bullying in a way, saying this, but you're not listening to what they're saying. Years ago when I worked at Sam's Club, I was a manager there, and this irate customer came in. I mean, she was cussing, she was doing all that. So who they come get? Me. So they threw me right in the fire. I went up there, I let her vent, I let her say what she had to say. In between me listening to her, I was seeing what the problem was. So after all that said and done, I said, ma'am, I understand your situation. So this is what's going on with it. Is that right? Yes. And you want to do this. Is that right? Yes. You have your receipt. Yes, I do. I said, well, come with me. Let's go ahead and resolve this issue right now. I listened to what she had to say, and I was seeing what she was frustrated about because nobody was listening to her. And so my mom told me that many years ago, in order to be a great communicator, you have to be a great listener.
Absolutely. I completely agree, because at the same time, you're showing value in that conversation with that person.
There you go. Yep.
Because they feel, at the end of the day, they feel, I've been heard. Now let's talk about it.
They feel like their opinion matters.
Yes.
Touche on that one.
Yes.
Opinion
Now you
matters.
do. You will come across some people who are passionate
Yes.
about what they're trying to get, out there. And I'm one of those ones. My husband get on me all the time.
I think she's confusing the word passion with hyper emotional.
So what you're really trying to say?
I didn't say it. I just was trying to be a politician and use those words.
But I think it's like you said, Ron, at the end of the day, and like we've said on multiple occasions, communication.
Yes.
Communication is the key to a lot of things that we've been missing out on.
Yeah.
If we can effectively communicate with each other, we can change the direction of a lot of things.
Yeah.
But that communication is not there. Not saying everyone is like that, but that's the biggest thing that's missing, is the communication piece.
I do know what I do, and I think everybody on this panel know, except for probably Brian, the first time meeting him, that whoever I have on the show, it's almost 2 or 3 days later, I'm calling. Hey, how's everything going? Anything I can do for you? Anything else going on? I may call somebody out the Wild Blue, so how's your day going?
Yeah.
And they would say, Ron, I needed this phone call today. Because I just communicate with them. And whoever I bring on the show is an everlasting relationship, friendship I develop right there. And I want them to be able to come and talk to me with whatever's going on. And they do call me and say, Ron, you got a minute? For you, I got all the time you need.
I'm going to say something on that, Ron. I'm going to tell you, what he said is so powerful to me, because when you're communicating with each other, for example, we met each other, I can't remember through who, Christina introduced WSAN to me.
Yeah.
So we became friends, right? So he calls one day, like he does, out of the blue. Hey, how you doing?
How's your day going?
How your day going? And so, wait a minute, hold on. How your day going? I hear something in your voice. Because we communicate with each other, right? We can tell that there's something going on with my friend on that other side of that phone, because we communicate with each other.
Yes.
So just having those moments, or like when I called you yesterday,
Yeah.
I got a problem.
Yep.
Because I knew at the end of the day, I'm calling all of my contacts. And I said, oh, wait a minute. I know exactly who I need to call. And what do you say? I got you. So that communication is key. It really is, because you get to know the person on the other end of the phone or that's facing you.
Well, I'm always fussing that Lion Queen on something. I mean, it's a good fuss, though. I said, you didn't send me that flyer yet? What's up with that, girl? Come on now. But I call up Lion. I call her and say, how you doing? Everything okay? Anything I can do for you? By the way, I got karaoke coming up. You gonna come by? But I do that with everybody that I know. If I haven't talked to you in about a week or 10 days, sometimes they'll call me, see if I'm okay. Doing this show has really opened up my eyes for communication out there, because that's all everybody want to know is something. And the key word, I learned this a long time ago. If you explain something to somebody, all they want to know are the whys. That's it. You tell them the whys, and they're good.
Yeah.
But politics, we can't tell the whys whatsoever because they don't care.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? But actually, that bill was passed yesterday. No, it wasn't. It even came on the floor yet. What you talking about?
That's a reality show, I'm telling you. I mean, it's like watching a reality show.
All right.
This has been great.
I know, I'm so excited.
We got one more last question that we should have asked after the first question. So we're going around. Where should we draw the line between community health and safety and individual liberty and privacy? Ooh. I'm going to jump in and say this. What in the heck did Apple do with that update? I'm going with privacy right there. I got 2 iPhones. When those 2 get together, I feel like, excuse me everybody, like they're mating. Because they're talking to each other. You want to share it? No, I don't want to share nothing with you. So somebody put out that the kids are being harmed by that because people are stealing their information.
Yeah.
A cybersecurity person, I forget her name, Kim was the first name. She came on and said that is not true. What's happening by default, the new Microsoft, y'all too, Apple turned around and made it easier for you to share your contact with people you want to share them with. But it just don't share by itself. You have to accept it. Now, they left that part out. They made it like everybody's selling your kids information. No, they got to accept it. But what you need to do is educate your child not to accept anything from anybody that's asking to get into your contacts and your pictures.
And you can go in your phone and turn it off.
That's right. You sure
Right,
can.
that sharing, you can turn that off, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the one that really got me when they did that, and it's just crazy. And then the update changed the whole phone deal. Your phone, everything changed. Then I get a picture of people I ain't never seen before. I said, "Where your picture come from?" They go into your photo gallery, find your picture, and put it on there.
Well, I think that's just all about, what you allow out there.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
individually, what are you allowing to go out there?
Yeah. And you didn't have to worry about that at first. Like I think that's similar to saying like your carbon footprint, right? Like you didn't have to worry about that kind of stuff at first. And I am horrible with that. So I'm always like, well, I don't even know if I want to send a certain message, or I don't know if I want to look at this, or because you just never know, right? But I think there's a very thin line between community health and safety. I think if there's a large scale event or traumatic or situation about to happen, yes, I think that's a time when I'm not going to consider my personal privacy, right? I want to know what's going on. I want the bells to ring, the sirens to turn. I need to, where's the nearest escape route, like all that information, right? If there's an outbreak, like, I don't even want to go into the COVID situation, but if there's an outbreak, to give us the information where everybody understands what's going on. But when it comes to my personal, like, I feel like I don't have to tell you anything. I don't want. I think my personal stuff should, my privacy and my liberty. I think that's kind of all, kind of intertwined and connected. I don't think I should have to give out any of that information, unless I see it fitting for whatever the situation is.
That's
But
your
now
right.
everybody,
Yeah.
right? But now it's almost as if everybody has access to everything at any given time, because again, it's all electronic, and all it takes is somebody clever to say, "Oh, this is this, particular code," to go in there and get,
Yeah.
So really, what is private? Is anything that we think is any of the things that we think are private, are they actually private to us?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Because
Now, are we
everything is
supposed to
digital.
uphold the HIPAA and the privacy and confidentiality? Yes, we're
Yes.
supposed to.
You're supposed to.
But in actuality,
Does
it's
it
already
really
out there.
happen? Electronic records are out there.
Yeah.
I
out
believe
there.
like this: the iPhone. If you have an Android, you're good. If you have an iPhone, it's the mark of the beast. You're all going to hell.
You know what's funny? Like, my family messes with me all the time because I still have an Android, right? And I'm like, I had to get out of the cult. I had to release myself. I can't do it. I
Had to get out of the cult.
Unplug.
It's the mark of the
I love my
beast.
Android. You know, I mean, granted, Apple, they have some really fancy and cool stuff that you can do, but I like having my freedom to be able to use and do whatever programs, apps, whatever I want to do, and not have to make it specific to what you tell me I can use. I
Well,
like
I'm
userability.
gonna shoot something y'all way.
Yes.
We got a few minutes left. Well, actually, but we're gonna take a few minutes. I can do that. I said on my morning show, it's one day I'm not gonna answer the phone. I'm not gonna get on social media. I'm gonna sit out under my gazebo out there with my cigar. I'm gonna sit back. I'm not gonna have no phone number. I'm gonna sit back and look at the birds chirp. I'm not gonna do nothing. And then somebody said, well, how long will that last? 5, 10 minutes? No, the whole day. I'm not doing it. I did it already one time this year. Because everybody's calling me, man, we were worried. I said, man, I took the day off. And I think we all need to do that. Take a day off of social media.
Yeah.
And just take a day off and just leave it alone. Because that time when Facebook went down a few years ago, I believe people was committing suicide because they couldn't tell everybody how their day was going. I could care less if you brush your hair 24 times on one side.
Yeah.
You know, some people are so addictive to it that they have to let everybody know how their day is going. And Lord, if you got 2,000 friends and you will post something, if you don't get 100 likes, they go crazy.
I have been off social media for probably about, I want to say maybe 3 weeks now, going on 3 weeks. And I'm telling you, it's just like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just, you know, reach, what's the word I'm looking for? Trying to reach out to my friends and them reach out to me outside of social media, you know, is what, it's been great. Being able to pick up the phone and have those communication,
Yes.
you know, moments or catch up outside of what's on social media, because I want to know how you're really doing. I don't want to know how you're doing on social media, because we know social media not real. That's not the real
That's
life.
just a facade.
That's not what's really going on, right?
Yeah, and for some, you know, like those of us, I mean, I'm a 70s baby too, so for me, if I'm putting something on there, 9 times out of 10, that's, you know, that's what it is. But I do appreciate, so for myself, I cut off everything at a certain point in my day.
Yeah.
I don't get on.
Like,
I'm horrible with social media.
Yeah, when I leave from here, when I'm doing my show, when I leave from here, I walk in my house, I look at my office, I keep on going. I keep on going. 'Cause if I sit down in that chair, I'm gonna start doing some things. It could wait. I gotta tell myself it could wait.
Yeah, I'm at that point where I wanted to see several things. You know, can I grow my business without being on social media? Can I reach the population that I need to reach for what I do without being on social media? And it's working. I am
That's good.
able
Yeah.
to reach the population that I need to reach without social media. So for me, my opinion, I'm keeping things that I need to do within myself to get done. And if someone wants to come along the way to help me, they know my phone number. I put it all on social media. I want you to remember, I want to make it a household name. But now I'm going to step back and I'm going to do what I need to do without going on social media to see if this really works. And it's been
Yeah.
working.
That's the difficult thing, you know, being an artist. It's really hard because it's almost like you have to live on social media, and I'm not a big social media person. Like, you know, especially lately, I've been, you know, just easing back, you know, from it, and people are like, well, did you see this? Well, you didn't see that? Well, I didn't see where you posted this. And I'm like, I did. I posted it. You know, but it's like I have to train myself to constantly be on and get in. They're like, what about your algorithm going? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I'm searching for stuff and like, I didn't see when they, you know, so I have to have a level of it, you know, for what I do. I have to be on, you know, at certain times and post so many times and do so many clicks or whatever. And that's just, you know, I'm
See,
not
I
a
just
big
don't have
social
time.
media.
Oh,
Exactly.
Can't do
It is like a job.
And I'm
It's
not
like a
gonna
job.
hire somebody to do it for me because I
that-
can't afford their prices nowadays.
Exactly. and you know what? It is so funny. In my mind, I was like, oh, I can just find like a college student or find somebody that'll, you know, no, they charge that. That's a hot commodity because it is like a real job. I mean, you got to reply, you got to look, you got to search, you got to flip, and it's a lot that you have to do to keep up with it, and especially to grow a business on social media, and then all the platforms.
Yes.
yeah, and
There's so many platforms.
I agree with you because this radio station, oh God. I have to do flyers, I get this, I make sure this get out, that get out. I check back people coming back saying, you forgot to put this in the flyer. Now I got my wife sometime proofreading so I don't forget certain things and stuff. But like, I have a full-time job.
That's a full-time job,
But
yeah.
as of my wife, she tells me I don't have a job. I told her I'm going to work in the morning. You don't have a job. You got a radio station. That's not a job. And then I'm in the office doing flyers, and then my favorite friend wakes me up at 3 o'clock in the morning with some ideas. And my favorite friend is God. He is always messing with me at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'll get up, go in the office. All of a sudden, I got that computer on, and I am working. With an hour and a half, I got everything done. I go back to bed about 4:30. Then I got to get up at 5.
Wow.
But you know, the social media part of it, I have to use it a lot to promote and get things out. But what's going on right now, I got pockets of people in certain spots in the United States that's putting that out for me. I just picked
That's
up
good.
somebody in Colorado Springs now are doing things. I got pocket in Carolina, Chicago area, LA. They are putting things out for me. As soon as I put something out, they're sharing it without me even asking them.
Good deal.
You
That's
know, so social media, yeah, unfortunately I gotta use it, but
I had to take a break for my own sanity.
yeah.
Well, and that is good. Like there are certain days, like my Sundays, I try to keep for myself, but every day I shut it down at a certain time. I shut down all of it. And then in the evenings, even my phone, like that is my personal me time. I shut everything goes on do not disturb at a certain time.
So that means when I try to call you at 6:30, you didn't answer. You shut down.
I don't know what I was doing at that time.
All right. We're looking at 8 minutes after the hour, 57 degrees here on the first day of December on WSAN radio. We are here with our round table and kind of went over a little bit, but it's been, I picked this topic
good.
because your opinion matters. And I said, you know what? Because who I was talking to, I know I was talking to you, Lakeisha, or you, Queen, I forget who it was. I said, I don't have a topic yet, but I'll come up with something.
Said that to me too.
I come up with something.
I come up with something, and as I was doing something, it just dawned on me, my opinion. I said, yeah, your opinion matters, and I went with it.
And that's a good one. I mean, I think this was really, this was good.
Yeah,
Well,
so
both of
We
them
need a
have been,
part two.
Yeah.
We need a part
oh,
two.
Man, yeah. That
Oh,
was,
Because
yeah.
we need to talk about some other things. I
Oh,
want
yeah.
to talk
I
about
agree.
some other
I
things.
agree.
well, when part 2 comes up, I'm gonna leave these questions alone and let everybody come up with their own.
Ooh.
Look. We got songbirds in here. They singing in harmony. I think I just came up with this, you know, but I'm not shy with y'all inputting anything. Doesn't bother me a bit. If you want to put in something in here and say, Ron, I want to talk about it, you ain't got to tell me. Just talk about it.
How
Just
about
go for
that?
it.
How
Sounds
about
good.
that?
Just go for it. Just like you said, open mic.
There we
Yes.
go.
We call it open mic on WSN radio. But anyway, let's go around the horn and let everybody say their goodbyes. We're going to start over there with Lakeisha.
So again, I'm Lakeisha Howard with We Got You Corporation, 210-559-0701, where we got you. Whatever it is in life that you need assistance with, or if you just want somebody to be a beacon of help and hope, we got you. 210-559-0701.
All right, Mr. Bryant.
Yes, I'm Brian Howard, and I'm still here.
I like that. I like that. And I'm still here. All right, the Queen.
I am the Lion Queen. You can find my book, The Bare Bones of Me, on Amazon, and be on the lookout for some upcoming books that I have on the way. Also, you can find me on social media, on Instagram at TP Lion Queen _TP, and on Facebook at Lion Queen, and also on YouTube, Lion Queen Experience.
All right, and her book's good.
Thank you.
I have a copy.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I read over it once in a while. Sometimes my quotes come on there. If anybody look at my quotes in the morning, I always look for quotes put on every morning. And I put a quote on. I did a couple of hers already, but she didn't see it. She didn't see it.
Well, you know, I will admit, even if I'm not watching, I'm listening. That's what I listen to at work.
Me too.
That music, yes.
Okay.
I love it.
We
yes.
have the app.
Yeah, I have the app. Yes.
Even my wife came up to me. She said, "I heard you talking. I'm glad you didn't mention exactly what I did, because it was something that she did, but I didn't use her name in it." She said, "I was expecting you to say my name." Oh, so you're an undercover WSN radio listener, huh? Well, I do appreciate that. You know, we're trying to get things out. When I first started this station 7 years ago, something like that, it was called Lounge 59. Then I revamped it and changed it to WSN Radio. And when I got back on it again, I was so happy. I had 50 listeners. I said, yes, 50 listeners. I said, I'm on it. Well, I looked at the numbers. We're surpassing 30,000.
Awesome.
We're surpassing that right now on any given day. The highest number I seen one time on the show that I did was right at 35,000.
That's what I'm talking about.
Was just listening, and it's just little me just talking noise. I'm like James Brown, talking loud, ain't saying nothing. But it's the morning show that I do every morning from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. I just get on there and talk about whatever. I mean, some people say you never know what's gonna come out of his mouth. And that's true. That is true.
But isn't it a blessing that you had a platform to do it?
Yeah. And got new people on with the platform to do things on.
Yes.
Brian, I appreciate you stepping up to the plate.
No problem.
We appreciate your input, everything you're saying. Very knowledgeable, and that's what we like hearing. I mean, you said it, brother. That's all I can say. You said what was going on, and that's what we need people to say it from our. Matter of fact, let's see if that quote is still on here. Sharon joined us. Hey, Sharon. Let me see. You guys keep it up, loving it, speaking from the heart, 100%. So these are people on here is just, I don't know. Let me see if I got anything on this one right here. On YouTube, just tuned into your channel. I missed the first part. I love the second part. So where can I find the first part? It's on there right now. It's on there right now. What I had to do, I had to turn around and stop it. So I got dinged from YouTube because I forgot to stop it. It was playing music. They didn't like that. So they grounded me for a week. And that's not the first time they did that to me, but that's going to be the last time. I'm not going to do it again. I tell you. But anyway, you could catch us on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. We're doing things Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then on the weekends, we got, Saturday is going to be a treat. We got the blues from 6 to 9, Motown from 9 to midnight, jazz from, as I said, 9 to midnight, 9 to noon. And then we got jazz from noon to 3, and we bring in 2 new shows on. Southern Soul is going to start January 6th from 3 to 6 p.m. And then everybody's favorite, disco.
Nice.
From 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So that's what we're doing. We're shaking things up and trying to offer music for everybody to hear.
Yes.
So those are some things that we're doing. And we kind of sort of rebranding when January come around to get things out to a lot more people. So that's one thing we're doing. This round table is going to keep on going. We may change it to twice a month because there's been an outpour saying we like what y'all doing. Keep on doing it. And one show I want to mention is Joseph Lee. It's the Impact Hour. He does mental health. We did part 1 and part 2 on church hurt. Part 3 is coming up this Wednesday on church hurt. When we first did church hurt, we had problems with Facebook and YouTube. All of a sudden, they didn't like what we were saying. And that's when I got grounded the first time around. So we did part 2, they left me alone. Because I sort of sent them an email stating that I have a license for everything that's on here. So, you know. But anyway, so tune in Wednesday for Church Hurt Part 3 here on WSAN Radio. All right. That's a wrap, everybody. We're out of here. We appreciate everybody who watched the show today. Stay tuned. Our next show will be in January. It's the first Friday in January, which I don't know what day that is. But we will find out. We'll get it out to you. So maybe we'll do part 2 of the opinion. I think it's not going to be a maybe. We're going to do it. We're going to do part 2. So that means I'm leaving it up to everybody else to bring their own opinion question in here.
Awesome.
And I don't care what it is. I could speak on whatever. Because one thing my mom from Chicago, she taught us to know all cultures.
That's right.
To know a little about everything. So you can have a conversation with anybody about anything.
Regardless of who they are.
Exactly. And she said, that's where you need to start with. Because if you go to some black tie affair, you see all the stiffs over there talking, you can have a conversation with them. They wouldn't even know who you are.
Exactly.
And
Or
then,
where you from.
That's right. Or you can go down the street in your neighborhood and have a conversation with people. You know, it doesn't make a difference. You should be able to talk to anybody and don't be afraid what to talk about. Because a lot of people will make fun of you because you're not educated. I'm not educated the way you are.
Right.
But I do know more than you do.
Come on now.
That's right.
So, all right, we're going to leave it at that before we end up being out here at 11 o'clock. All right, this is DJ Ron G. Peace and chicken grease. We'll catch everybody tomorrow at Ball Hogs. We got karaoke going on. And my girl going to come there and sing tomorrow, Miss Lion Queen. I just threw out there, didn't I? So, but y'all take care. We appreciate everybody tuning in today. And peace and chicken grease. This is DJ Ron G. And I'm out.